Okay. Morning. Hello. All right. Hey, good morning. This is BJ and Joe from Out and About on the Recumbents. And today we're going to bring you something at least a little new. We're going to go ahead and right now we're just at the bend of the Pikes Peak Greenway trail that goes north and south here in Colorado Springs. Howdy. Yeah.
I was doing vision screening there and I knew it did and they finally opened it, but that's really...
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Well, have a nice ride.
Yeah, you have a good day.
You too.
Okay, so we're gonna head across here. Yes, it is open. Okay, so this is the newly opened Rock Island Connector Trail. And this will take you up to where you can connect to both Rock Island further east, or you can go to Shook's Run towards downtown. And I think it's going to be a very popular run. We're fortunate, we live right there in those apartment complexes. So we actually got to kind of see it get all built. And we're just really happy that we're just really happy that they finally finished it. It's been like, they've been teasing us for like 3 years. Okay, now if you go straight, this takes you up to Cascade Street, or Avenue rather, and you can also, you know, jump off and jump on the trail here from there too. So a lot of people don't realize it's actually open yet, but the city officially said that it's open. And as you can see, people are finding out because, man, look at this crowd coming up. There's a lot of people over here. Yeah, everybody's checking it out because this is probably the first weekend that, howdy? Morning. Probably the first weekend that it's, howdy, been open. Morning. That might have been the folks from the Colorado Springs Cycling Club. They do a Saturday cafe lat ride, as they call it, where they go to different coffee houses here in Colorado Springs. We used to be members a long time ago, but we kind of gave it up because they were, you know, they were all getting too fast for us. Now that we've got e-assist, we could probably hang in there. Howdy. At least for the lat runs. The other rides, though, you know, they're running 15 miles an hour. We'd have to use a lot of battery power to run 15 miles an hour constantly. Okay, well, the first bridge, like I said, was Cascade Street. Now we got a dual bridge here for Nevada Avenue. I'm sorry, Cascade Avenue, now Nevada Avenue. So we got 2 avenues in a row here. And we didn't know how they were going to go under here. At first we thought they'd just dig a big hole and stick a metal tube up there and you know, kind of create a tunnel. But they went the expensive route and you know, completely channeled out concrete and, you know, made a concrete wall, which is the most expensive way to do it, because you'll see most of the walls that they have for this is are brick. You know, bricks are that kind of thing. Some of them are really large and then some of them are smaller, but yeah, so we're coming up to the end of the connector trail. Hello. Thank you. Your bike's great too. Howdy. All right. So like I said, nice view here. All right. They call this the connector trail because right here, if you go to the right, you're on the Six Run Trail. If you stay to the left, you're continuing on the Rock Island Trail, which will take you all the way to Powers Boulevard, which is what's going to be our ride today. Howdy. Now this part here, this was actually phase 1 of 3 phases. So they've done all 3 phases now. They're just everything now is cosmetic work, you know. They're signage and oh, you know, whatever else they're gonna do, you know, the little stuff, you know, making it look better, hiding the dirt, that kind of thing. We're really hoping that they'll put up a, you know, they're gonna do a Joni Mitchell, you know, and put up a parking lot. What? Okay, that was terrible. That's all right. But yeah, down there by the old warehouse, you know, down there at the entrance, we're kind of hoping that on the other side of it, they'll put in a parking lot and put parking spaces, because that way, you know, it'd be a real, you know, you could ride down, you could park there and do the trail, you know, do a couple of trails, you know, you can make a nice loop out of it. So, but yeah, so as I said, that was the new Rock Island connector. So the city is genuinely trying hard to connect these trails, but you know, you gotta, even I have to understand that you're talking a lot of money. I mean, a mile of concrete is something like close to $1 million or something like that. It's just ridiculous. Maybe, I don't know, it might only be $500,000, but somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Morning? Morning. Just to, you know, just to build a mile of this concrete trail. Now, the reason they stick with concrete, even though it's way more expensive, is the fact, you know, it has almost no maintenance. If they poured it right, it should be good for, you know, who knows, 100 years, you know. Where with asphalt, you know, it's only good for, oh, about 10 years, and then of course it starts completely falling apart, develops huge cracks. Because part of this trail, we're gonna go on, we're heading to Templeton Gap Road. Yes, there is a trail called Templeton Gap, but this is not it. This is the intersection we're coming up on is Templeton Gap Road. And once we get to the other side of the intersection, which they're scheduled to improve, they're supposed to be putting an island, a safety island as I call it, in the middle, and putting up better signals, not real signals, but signage that actually blinks to get people to, because it's a pretty wide street actually for being a back street, and it carries a lot of traffic. So right now, you know, it's really hard to get across. You really have to, you know, do like we do and just be real patient till it clears out or somebody stops and then you go. But you never know if somebody's going to stop on the other, coming the other way. You know, just because they stop on one side, don't mean they're going to stop on the other side. So if you had that safety island in the middle, you could get over there, and you know, if somebody decided that you know, they weren't gonna let you through, then you could you know, you'd be safe till they went by. like I said, this was phase 1 of the new trail. Howdy. Howdy. And now we're going to cross Templeton Gap Road here. Well, we got really nice people. Now, as you can see, we're back on the older, really rough, mean old asphalt section. We got a bike coming up. We got a couple of big divots. Slow down, dear. Got a couple of divots here. But since we got a bike coming down, we got to stay on our side. Morning. And so we're going to be coming up on Paseo Street, which they installed one of those new safety islands on. But it's not near as wide as Templeton Gap Road. Excuse me. But yeah, I haven't done a total video on the whole Rock Island connector. Now eventually they're just gonna, they're gonna get rid of the term connector and just consider it part of the Rock Island trail. But I think for a lot of us, that watched it get built and stuff, been waiting for it, it'll kind of always be the connector trail, Yeah, so we're coming up on Paseo Street here. P-A-S-E-O, I think that's how it's spelled. Not 100% sure on that. Like I said, but, we have stop signs. You see, this is the safety island, so Joe could stop right there in the middle of the road and not get run over. So, now, Joe doesn't usually just stop in the middle of the road, so, but if she had to, if somebody decided that it was their damn road and they headed off, or kept coming, she'd be safe. And so, this trail has a lot of, moms with strollers and small kids, and so the safety island is really a good idea. They probably, honestly, though, should have installed it on Templeton Gap Road first, before Paseo. But I think they had to do some sort of, I think Paseo got it first because there was some under street construction that had to be redone, got damaged somehow, and so they just decided to do it all at one time, which is not, it's not a bad idea. That way you're not phasing up two projects, so they just kind of added it on to the other project. Yeah. Now, this trail was in much worse shape. I've been beating on the city for, I don't know, a couple of years now that, the cracks that go all the way across these old asphalt trails are really brutal on, our recumbent trikes. Even though we have rear suspension, and it doesn't do much for the front, so they did come in and at least try to fill the cracks the best they could, and then, put a sealer over it. Won't last for very long. It's probably only good for, maybe 4 or 5 years at best. Hello. But it is definitely an improvement, because before the cracks were 2 or 3 inches wide and 2 to 3 inches deep, and I mean to tell you, you know, I was having to slow down because you know, I had the high pressure tires on for most of the time. So where now I have the balloon style Big Apple tires, which you know, can run the lower pressure and kind of suck up stuff a lot more. Yeah, you know, one of my biggest peeves is people using these recreational trails and paths as their own personal time trial track, you know? If you want to go as fast as you can possibly go, then you need to be out in the street. You know, these trails, although I disagree with supposedly here in Colorado Springs, the official max speed of the trails is 20 miles an hour. Well, that's too fast. It just is. It's too fast for the situation. If you're going 20 miles an hour and some little kid jumps out in front of you, or you know, falls on his strider or something, you know, or a dog or whatever, if you're going 20 miles an hour, you ain't gonna be able to stop in time. I really think they should bring it down to 10. I think 10 miles an hour is plenty fast for these trails. Yes, I don't care whether your e-trike can go 40 miles an hour. If you want to go 40 miles an hour, you and your e-trike need to get your butts out on the street. That's just my opinion, and we all know what opinions are like. Everybody has one. So, got a little bit of an incline here, so man, come on, up. Okay, well, we might be able to make this. I'm gonna try. Well, we're down to 8 though. Got it? Got it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't mind if you come out and have a robust ride, you know. But I still think that, sorry, got to shift up a gear here. I still think 20 miles an hour is just too fast. Now I'd say at the absolute maximum 15. And I think you know, if you get the state gives you you know, you can get little I've got some, you know, little plastic cards that tell you the rules of the trails, you know. And I'm gonna look at the card because I swear they say 15 miles an hour, but I guess cities can you know, change you know, to what they want. I'm gonna try to get this whole trail, you know, in the video. I don't know if I can't remember exactly how long it takes to do the whole trail. Howdy. But another thing we're going to be checking on is the progress on the at Murray Boulevard and the Rock Island Trail intersection, and they're supposed to be slowly but surely putting in an actual crosswalk light, which will be totally awesome, because man, that's another one that's really hard to get across, and they don't want to slow down at all on the Murray one. I mean boom, they're going, You know, the speed limit's probably 40 miles an hour and they're doing 60. As when they tell you that concrete trails are perfectly smooth, they lie a lot, because they're not. You know, sometimes the tree roots push them up, and some of them are actually pretty bumpy. There's a part of the Pikes Peak Greenway that goes by the first part of the Goose Gossage Sports Center, which is, you know, baseball, soccer fields, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's part of the trail. It's cement, goes right by the creek. And I mean to tell you, when you ride it, you go ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. So, yeah. Concrete can be not smooth, but it's still much better than asphalt. And, you know, except for where the tree roots force it up a bit in places, it doesn't get these huge cracks, huge deep cracks all the way across it, like the asphalt does eventually. Poor electric scooter. We have a electric scooter company, our rental electric scooter company called Lime. Strange name, but that's what they're called, Lime, L-I-M-E. And yeah, people do not treat those things good at all. I've seen them leave, you know, I've seen them leave those scooters right in the middle of the trail. Or like that one, you know, just thrown to the ground. It's really kind of, you know, destructive and useless. Howdy. Howdy. And yeah, as you can see, it's definitely a Saturday. Everybody's out wanting to ride today because it's a nice day. At least the morning will be nice. There's actually, it's not much of a chance of rain today. A little bit towards the late afternoon. Of course, it's according to which weather thing you look at. According to the Weather Channel, there's hardly any chance, but according to coming up on my favorite guy here. This is a understeering recumbent bicycle, two-wheeler. Very rare. Howdy. Yeah, those are cool. I always wanted one of those. I think that's what they call the, oh man, I can't remember, the long reach or the long something. Recumbent bicycles. And they're howdy. They're long wheelbase, you know, which is my favorite kind of recumbent bicycle. There's different types of recumbent bicycles. There's long wheelbase, short wheelbase, compact long wheelbase, and then there's also low racers and high racers. Now the racer series is meant to do nothing but go fast, okay? And when they mean by high, it means they use really tall tires, like they use you know, 700C or 29-inch tires, you know. And it might be just one in back, or might, you know, and a 20-inch in front, or it might be the opposite way. It might be, you know, two 700Cs, you know, one front, one back. You know, the recumbent trikes, like we ride and most of you guys ride, are actually fairly new, you know. I mean, they haven't been around that long. You know, the recumbents themselves started back, I think, you know, like the late 1990s. They had some of the first, you know, first recumbent bicycles, you know. I mean, you know, that were enough to be manufactured and sold. They probably had kits before that, but yeah, so they've been around a while, where recumbent trikes really haven't been on the scene that long. But it's so funny because, you know, in 2018 when we decided to get recumbent trikes, I'd already had well, both of us actually had a couple of, recumbent bicycles. And, the recumbent is the style, the tall, big seat, and that type of thing. So, and you have recumbent bikes, two-wheelers, and recumbent trikes, which are three-wheelers. Now, they also have quads, but quads are a weird deal. Some places, it's funny, I don't know what Colorado considers a quad, but some places consider a quad a car. If it's got four wheels, it's a car. It doesn't matter, whether it's got a motor or not. So, which is kind of silly because, unless it has a really large electric motor. See, they've closed off. Normally you go down underneath and go under Circle Drive there, but they've closed it off because the drainage system is horrible. So it's probably flooded out, or it was, and they just haven't got here to open it up again. But that happens a lot. This is a really, they've never been able to make this this underpass work. Basically, the minute it rains, we're here at Circle Drive, and I'm having to hit the light. So, yeah, there's that is the one bad thing about the Rock Island Trail, is that it has a lot, and I mean a lot, of intersections with fairly major streets here in town. But it is truly the only, it is the true east and west trail on this side of the city. Now you got to, once you get over to, Templeton Gap goes east and west, but it goes kind of northeast. And then Cottonwood Creek does the same thing, but they're not continuous. They don't go clear to, you can't get clear to downtown. This is the only one that will take you over to the, directly over to the Pikes Peak Greenway, and then downtown, where you could go to America the Beautiful Park and hook into the Midland Trail to take you over to Manitou. Yeah, this is one of them really long lights, man. I mean, it's long, long, long. And we got another one coming up. Well, the next one's actually not bad. It's a lot smaller street. But the one after that, Academy Boulevard, is terrible. All right. So, we're working our way across here. Got an official sign, Rock Island Trail. So this trail does have a little signage, as you can see. If it wasn't flooded out, that's where you'd be able to to access just to go under, and you wouldn't have to wait on the light. But sometimes you just got to go with the flow, as they say, because it doesn't make any sense to go into water when you can't see what's on the bottom. Howdy. There could be mud, there could be rocks, there could be glass, metal, who knows, because basically all that water's down there because it rained and it flooded off the streets, and of course, down the trail here too. So yeah, you're much better off by just going up using the light. Bit of an inconvenience, but at least you don't have to worry about getting caught in a mud bog, or running over glass that you can't see. Yeah, I apologize for that light creaking you hear. my seat creaks. I don't know what to do. I've tightened it all up, and you know, I've adjusted up the straps and everything else, and it still creaks a little. It doesn't creak as much as it did. Now sometimes if it starts creaking pretty loud, these ice seats underneath have little, and I mean they're little tiny quick releases, you know, so the seat comes off real easy. Howdy. And so, you know, because even these older ones like we have actually will fold. Now they don't fold as good as the new ones, because the new ones, the frame kind of twists, you know, and the wheel will be flat, where this one here, it will fold, you know, it will fold up, but the wheel's going to be, you know, the rear wheel won't be flat. Now Joe's is even fancier, because she has an option. She has quick release front wheels, so if you had a small car, you could take off the front wheels, take off the seat, fold up the trike, and take off the front two wheels, and you know, you can fit that in a pretty tight space. Yeah, because I only get about an hour on my battery, maybe just a tad over, you know, like, you know, maybe an hour 10, you know, that's as much as I get, and that's not bad for, you know, I mean, this is an old GoPro 6. It's been around a while, and it's the original battery as far as I know, but I haven't been able to afford a backup battery, so I need to get one. I'm gonna let Joe come on up here so she can kindly get the light for us, because holding this camera and everything else, I just can't quite do it. And now we're up to Shelton. This is a much smaller intersection. You see, the way they put that light post, you know, I mean, it's like impossible to get at without getting completely out of your trike. I'm gonna let you go first. I'll come in behind you. So yeah, even though technically we have a green light, we don't have a green crossing light. And just so you'll know, if you cross and you don't have a green crossing light and you get hit, guess what? It's your fault. Yeah, doesn't matter whether that light signal is green, because when you're in a crosswalk, you're a pedestrian, whether you got wheels or not. So always remember that. Very important. Okay, we're back. A little more signage. Like I said, that's one nice thing about the Rock Island. It's been around long enough that they've, you know, they've had time to do all the signage and stuff. Now we're coming up to Academy Boulevard, which is just ridiculous. You know, I mean, you can be there for 5-6 minutes, you know, trying to get across. So what I'll do, thank you, what I'll do is I'm going to turn it off when we get up here. And then we'll catch it on the other side. Now you guys are pretty, you know, if you've been around, you know, if you're one of our subscribers, which we really do appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. Howdy. You know, you've seen this trail many times. like I said, as far as the future for this trail goes, eventually, and I have no idea when that will be. I'm sure, I don't know. I don't think our grandkids will be alive. You know, our grandkids are all in their 30s. You know, late 20s, early 30s. Before they do it. They might be, who knows. They might get it done before then, but they don't seem to be in any kind of hurry. And I really don't think going underneath Powers, which is a 6-lane, massive traffic road, is a good idea at all. I think that they need to, I think they need to build a bridge, and they need to build an overhead, you know? Go over it, not under it, because as bad as Circle Drive is there, you know, about retaining water, well, if you could imagine, howdy? If you could imagine a, you know, a tunnel that's 3 times as long, you know, without proper drainage, that thing would be constantly flooded. So I think it's a really bad idea to go underneath. And that's what I keep hearing they want to do. It don't make no sense. If you go over, howdy, you don't have to worry about, you know, you don't have to worry about the water. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for what you do, man.
All right.
Yeah, gentleman picking up trash, man. We do the same thing. We do what they call bike, or actually the Trails and Open Space program has a deal called the One Bag Challenge. Passing on your left. See, that just goes to show you how much we got. Runners, we got trike riders, we got skateboarders, we got everybody. Howdy. It's a good looking old touring bike that person had. Might not be an old one. There's still a couple companies that still make, you know, an old-fashioned regular touring bicycle. Those were my bicycles, where everybody else had racers. Well, I did have one racer. I had an Italian Olmo, O-L-M-O, when I was a teenager. And it was beautiful. Italian racing 10-speed and a screaming zonker yellow. And at the time, you know, it had Shimano 105, you know, gearing. It was nice, man. I mean, it was so sweet. Going over the bridge here. There's an old railroad trestle back there that's falling completely apart. That trail back there has 2 names. If you ask most people, they'll call it the Canal Trail. But it's actually supposed to be the southern part of the Homestead Trail. Joe and I were just talking about that the other day, how they really need to, you know, complete the Homestead Trail, because one cool thing about it is the Homestead Trail would hook you up clear over, you know, if it was complete, which it's not. There's pieces that are just, you know, like single track dirt. I mean, you know, there's no, and some parts don't have anything, so you have to use little back streets and stuff. And you know, with these 3-wheel trikes being almost 3 feet wide, single track dirt don't cut it. It just don't cut it. So yeah, we got lucky and didn't have to wait very long, because that runner, you know, had hit the button for us, so we didn't have to turn off the video. But now we're heading for Murray Drive. Now I guess it's a boulevard. Yeah, Murray's a boulevard. Yeah, I'm really bad about that, folks. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Murray Boulevard, okay? and that's where they're supposed to put in the new lighted crosswalk. And the other day, a couple weeks ago when we came up here to check it out, after finding out about it, they didn't have much done. So I don't know what their priority is. It doesn't look like they've done much. But I don't know exactly what all they have to do. You know, maybe I guess they'd have to lay wiring or something. But it looks exactly like it normally looks, at least for right now. Well, okay, they got a little cement work done, but that's it. Now, this is the same stuff they had done last time. Boy, they're really working slow on this one. And they took out the concrete, which is a real shame. As you can see, nobody's stopping. And it's a large, you know, I mean, it's a 4-laner, so it's a big street. That's one of the older signs, and it even says the Rock Island and the Homestead Trail. But like I said, currently right now, the Rock Island Trail here ends at Powers, well, just before Powers Boulevard and a cul-de-sac off of a access road, which I can never remember the name of. If you're a fan of beer, they have the FH Beer Works Brewery right at the end, the current end of the Rock Island Trail, in you know, in that little cul-de-sac. And sadly they don't howdy, we don't drink. So, and you know, hey, look, we're not you know, I guess we're teetotalers because we don't drink, but we're not, you know, if you want a beer or drink, I got no problem with that. Just don't go to excessive, because it's bad for you, it's bad for your family, and it's bad for society in general. In all things in life, moderation is the key. Unless you want a trike, and then you just got to go get it. Howdy. Because remember, come to the dark side. We have cookies. All right. Joe said no, man. Joe said these trikes, we're the light side. We're the good guys. But yeah, I mean, I think the whole length, if you count the connector, is probably about, I don't know. Right now we're only up to 6.3 miles, and we still have quite a ways to go. We usually stop up here to take a break. Besides that, I'm gonna have to get some water because I've been talking and I'm starting to get really dry. Well, if you hear what sounds like a radio, that's our walkie-talkies. They're just your basic 16-channel walkie-talkie. Nothing fancy. Got them off of Amazon. And for a while, we don't use them as much now because I have e-assist. But when Joe had e-assist and I didn't, you know, and we pick up a really big hill, well, of course, she'd get way ahead of me. And that's okay, because we have a thing. Just, you know, who's ever ahead, get to the top of a hill and wait, especially if you can find shade. And, you know, I did that for her when we were riding when neither one of us had e-assist, because I was always the stronger rider. Yeah, we kind of think that when it does that heavy buzz, it's not really people talking, you know, because these things have 16 frequencies, well 15 actually, because the last one, channel 16, is like a multi, you know, it skips from channel to channel to channel. But we think what it is, you know, maybe somebody's running a baby monitor, stereo system or something, you know, and it just happens to be on the same frequency, because you never hear any voice, you know. Howdy. Yeah, you know, you never hear any voice. It's just a buzz. But, you know, these are they're not, I think they call them FRS, you know, those are the ones that, the better walkie-talkies that, you know, you can actually have your own channel kind of thing. Where, you know, these are all, you know, it's just a generic open channel. So, you're going to get, I don't think we found one channel yet that didn't eventually have somebody come up and start talking on it. Or get a lot of interference, like, you know, like you just heard, if you heard that. Pretty loud. Okay, we're coming up on our little rest spot here, so I'm gonna get ready to shut her down, and then we'll pick her up, probably pick her up on the other side. We got some real fast downhills in the next, you know, say like mile, 2 miles of this trail, and like having both hands on the brakes. So we'll pick you up once we get to the top and then take you to the end. All right, a little rock formation. There's a neat little bench, you know, rock bench back in there, and it's nice and shady. So, you know, kind of be a great place to grab a good book, you know, and hook in. That's a dirt trail that goes right along. A lot of the, well, not a lot, but a few like equestrian riders and stuff like to use it. And of course the mountain bike and gravel riders. Okay. All right. So, BJ and Joanda out and about on the recumbents. And we will get back to you. Bye for now. Okay, we're back. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. You can kind of see that, you know, before that uphill there was a downhill that was just as good, and it's real easy to start hitting, you know, like 25 miles an hour, and when you're going, you know, I mean, you know, it's really hard to keep, I mean, I understand, you know, I know I was complaining about the trail, but, with the speed, but I was talking on flat, you know. It's downhill like that, it's really hard to keep, a trike at 15 miles an hour. But, you know, so you definitely want to, if you're going severe downhill, you know, you definitely want both hands on the brakes. I mean, I know some of these people that are really good with doing these YouTube videos, like Sylvia Hepburn, you know, who's Myrtle the Turtle, you know. Her trike is Myrtle the Turtle. And then, of course, Jayo Matt. You know, those two are just, you know, I don't know. They are so good. It is unbelievable. I mean, you know, their videos are killer because they just understand, they really understand how to take a killer video. And, you know, they both got the drone cameras. Oh man, I would love to have a drone camera, although I'd probably trash it within a day. So because I don't know if I can. Yeah, because it's amazing, you know, you watch somebody like Jayo Matt, you know, that, I mean, he literally is running his drone and still riding, you know. I'd probably crash. I'm not that coordinated, but you know, those folks are really good at it. They seem to be able to, you know, do a selfie stick, you know, down a severe downhill, and you know, so they're one-handing it, and I'm just not that brave. I like to have both hands on the brakes, you know, and got a severe downhill. I need to gear up one here. Plus two, yeah, it's like we talked about before. I guess, you know, because it's an older trike. I don't know, maybe the new ones do it too. Howdy. But, yeah, if you go to an inline motor like I have, and you put it on, you know, of course, the front of the boom. But the only problem is, you know, it creates an unstable wobble if you hit a bump. Now, if it's smooth, like right now, you know, hey, I got no hands on the bars, and she's like a rock. But all I gotta do is hit a bit of a bump, and she goes into a wobble. I won't call it a death wobble, because it's not really a death wobble, but it's a wobble. And this is really, this is your typical Colorado Springs thing here, boy. You know, why not finish this concrete trail all the way to the end? Oh no, you can't do that. I mean, you know, and yeah, they go right over here and they do another little piece of concrete. I guess they're trying to preserve the tracks or something, you know, because this was the old Rock Island Railroad line, you know, Chicago to LA. I mean, it had passenger trains in the 50s and 60s, and you know, freight trains in the 70s. And then, you know, by the middle to late 70s, it basically closed up, and Colorado Springs acquired the rights to it, and they created this trail. But we're coming to the official end of the Rock Island Trail here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Yeah, I have to remember to say that, because it seems like every town has a Rock Island Trail. Or almost every town has a Rock Island Trail, you know. So yeah, I gotta make sure y'all know this is the end of the Rock Island Trail in Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is the cul-de-sac I talked about, and that is Powers Boulevard out there. And we'll be turning around. And right over there is that FH Beer Works Brewery and Tap Room. We're going to be getting back on the trail here. Joe didn't get enough speed. This is kind of a vicious bump, you know. I just try to slow down and let because with my e-assist system, I get a little tiny boost right off the bat, no matter what gear I'm in. So if I kind of rock up to the thing there and then start, if I can get just enough of about a quarter to a half a revolution of a pedal, I get that little bit of boost. So it will, you know, take me over those bumps. But yeah, they don't serve food inside, but they have a permanent food truck, food wagon, whatever you want to call it, that serves food. But like we said, sadly, they don't have unsweetened iced tea, which is our drink. Yeah, we don't do alcohol. You know, we can't have a lot. You know, Joe can't have sugar, or any more sugar than absolutely. You know, because it's impossible to have no sugar. because there's sugar in a lot of things that are already made up, although we don't really eat many processed foods, you know. That's where a lot of people get in trouble, because they eat processed foods, where TV dinners, supposedly these healthy meals. The only problem of it is when they're prepackaged like that, they use a lot of sodium and they use a lot of sugar. And of course, prepackaged store-bought cookies and cakes and all that kind of stuff, just tons of sugar. So we don't use any of those. I bake our cakes and I use stevia. I wish I could afford to use almond flour instead of wheat flour, but we can't. Almond flour is extremely expensive. $2 is $2 or 2 pounds of almond flour is $10. Yeah, we're taking a shade break. And be totally honest with you, now that we're heading back, I think we'll end the video, because mainly I just kind of wanted to show you the connector, because you've seen all this before. So we're basically from here we're going to head over to a Maverick convenience station, gas station, whatever you want to call it. We don't get gas, so we call it a convenience station, because they have a killer deal on their drinks. So we can get unsweetened iced tea there. So that's where we're headed, and with our brown bag lunch. And it's that time of the month, or that time in our pay period. We're getting down to the last, 2.5 weeks, and yeah, the money's always goes too fast. As they say, there's too much month left at the end of the money. And that is so true when you're retired but poor, or poor but retired. That's us, and so yeah, okay, well, enough of this babbling. Always remember, it's enough to be on your way. It's enough just to cover ground. It's always enough to be moving on. Get off that couch. Get on your trike, your bike, your feet, whatever it takes, but get out there. And I'll do a plug for Ryan Doozer's site. That's his YouTube motto. His site name is Get Out There. And he's the gentleman who invented the tunnel song, the ole, 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 that we use when we hit a tunnel. And, well, we try not to hit a tunnel when we ride through a tunnel. And, okay. All right. So, from BJ and Joe and her wingman, Stuart, the minion, we will say goodbye for now. Check you out on the next video. Happy trails. Bye, folks.